What's going on, you guys? So today we're going to learn how to monitor a website, check and see if there's a target phrase, and if it is there, we want to restart our computer. So in this case, we've got this website here, and we want to search for a phrase, no box connections. And if we find the phrase no box connections, we're going to restart the computer. And we're going to automate this so we don't have to do it ourselves. And why might you want to do that? Say you have a server that's sending out marketing text messages. Well, you want to restart the server if it goes down because you want to maintain those text messages going to your clients, or maybe it's like PagerDuty for hospital workers when they have to come in late at night or something. So it's very important that it remains up. So this script, it will make sure, it will monitor this website. If it finds a phrase no box connections, then we're going to restart the computer to try and keep this server up. So let's see how we can do that. Okay, so we're going to make a directory, call it check for phrase, so we can keep all of our work segregated. And then we're going to make a script. Let's call it check for phrase. Just something that reminds you of what it's supposed to do. So what are we going to do? So first, so we've made that. Let's try curling the website to see what's available here. So we curl. Okay, so we get this. Here's that phrase that we're keying in on. It starts at the top, and it's got everything else. So if we curl this, and then we search for with grep. So grep is, it says, hey, search for box connections. Oh, what? Search for box connections within this input. Oh, what happened there? Wait, let's see. Interesting. Okay, let's try something else. Save this to test.html. Now we're going to grep box connections. That's the string we're looking for. And we're going to search in test.html. Okay, so it works that way. What if we say HTML, we'll do a variable. We'll say HTML equals curl. Okay, so echo HTML. Okay, so we've got that data. So now we're going to, let's see, echo HTML, and then grep box connections. Let's see if that works. Okay. Okay, so that works. So we can save the output to a variable and then check for that phrase. And it's important that we enclose it in quotation marks. Okay. So let's add that to our script. So it's going to be HTML equals, we're going to curl this website, and then we're going to echo HTML and grep phrase. And so what is our phrase? Our phrase is going to be, let's do box connections for now. And so now we want to check, we'll say if we find the phrase, what are we going to do? So we need some way, we need some check. We need to find some way to check whether we found phrase or not. Okay, so let's look at the manual page for grep. You can just type man grep. Okay. Okay, so -C, it stands for count. So suppress normal output, instead print a count of matching lines for each input file. So we can think of two cases. We can think of either count equals 0 or count is greater than 0, right? We might find one or more cases, but the only distinction is if we find 0 or if we find more than 1. So let's see what happens. So echo HTML. Okay. grep-c, and we're going to give it box connections. Okay, so that says 1. And as you saw here, there's one box connection. So now we've got a way to find the number of the match count. The match count, we'll call it. So let's go back to our script that we're writing. We'll say -C, say match count equals should we, yeah, let's go like that, I believe. Let's see what this does. Oh, no, that's not what we want. Okay. Yeah, we want you to execute this. All right, now let's try that and see what that does. Oh, we have to set phrase. So we'll say phrase equals box connections. Oh, and we have to put this in quotation marks, I believe. Okay, there we go. Echo match count. Okay, cool. All right, so let's not forget to do that here. Put the in quotation marks there. Okay. So now if match count in bash -dt stands for greater than. If it's greater than 0, then we want to restart the server. So we're going to say shut down R now, and that stands for reboot now. We could do, instead of now, we could put 60, and that would reboot in 60 minutes. And then we want to think about like how often do we want to recheck our URL. Oops. Okay. So let's try rechecking our URL every 5 minutes. So we find that there's no box connections in here. So then we're going to sleep for 5 minutes. So sleep, this is seconds. So if we wanted 5 minutes, we would have to do 5 times 60, so that'd be 300. And we want to loop through this and keep running this each time around. So, well, let's pull this out. So we'll say URL equals that, curl our URL. And so we want to do while true, do done. So we want to repeat this. I want this to continually check. Okay. So we're not going to shut down because that would end this great tutorial that we've got going on. So instead we're just going to test it by saying echo match. else echo no match. Okay. And we're going to sleep, because we're testing, we're just going to sleep 5 seconds. Okay, so let's try that. We're going to skip the shutdown for now. Oh, FG. So we want to make this a little easier to run, and also this will be necessary for getting the computer to run this. So user bin env bash. So that tells the computer how it should execute this. Should it use bash? Should it use Python? Should it use Node.js? This tells the computer what it should be using to execute this file. And now we can make it an executable file by doing this. Now if we just go like this, it's going to run it with the correct bash environment instead of Python or JavaScript or something else. Okay. Okay, there's a match. Now it's sleeping for 5 seconds. Oh, so there's a problem. We aren't rerunning the curl command. So we want to put that within the loop. Right? So you saw that there was this one progress bar, but it isn't rechecking it. That's because this was not inside the loop. So now it should, every loop, it should pull the URL data down again. Okay, let's try that. And you should see, this time we should see a progress bar every time. Okay. Now it sleeps for 5 seconds, then it does another curl. Cool. All right, we're getting a match. Okay, now what if we don't get a match? What's going to happen? No box connections. Now what happens? And if you remember the website, this is going to fail, right? Because it says box connections, not no box connections. Okay, so let's try this again. And now we're getting no match, so we see that that's working. All right. So now let's so we don't need to see this the progress bar every time. So if you type -s, lowercase s is silent, so it's going to remove that progress bar every time. And uppercase S, let's remember what that does. Man curl. Let's search for capital S. What does that do? Show error. Okay, so it's going to be silent, but it will show the error if there is one. And we wouldn't get that error if it was silent. We do want to know when something goes wrong, but if it's okay, we don't need any more information. That's what that's doing. Okay. Okay. So let's try this again. Run this one more time. Check. Okay, no match. Okay, so now the question is how do we set it up so that this runs on reboot every time? So if you do sudo crontab -e, we have to use sudo because shutdown command requires sudo privileges. So if we don't use sudo, it's just going to be the user profile and it will not be able to execute the shutdown command. So we have to do sudo. We put in our password, and what we're going to do here is we're going to do @reboot. The sleep command is optional. It gives you the sleep command is nice because if we do this, if we do this, then we might not have enough time to like turn it off. Say it reboots your computer and it automatically runs again, and then it pulls down, it does a curl command, pulls down and then starts rebooting your computer again. You might not have time to turn it off, so you might you might have trouble like turning this off. So the sleep command is nice because it gives us some time to turn this off if we want to. So sleep and then it will run our, and you want to give it an absolute path to the location of the script. So for me, like yours, it's going to be different. It'll say /home/ your name, whatever you've called your computer. But for me, it works this way. So once you've got that down, right quit in Vim, and so now we've got the following in our cron tab. We've got this one file that's going to rerun our script every time we restart the computer. So it's going to continually check this website every 5 minutes, and if we get no box connections, then it's going to restart the computer and then start checking again. So I'm not going to show you this now, but you want to use shutdown, and you want to use the absolute path for shutdown as well. So how can we find that? You can type which shutdown, and you want to use this value. So user sbin shutdown. And actually something you could do, so this might be something different depending on what version of Linux you're using, if you're on a Mac. Something that should work in all situations, if you have this which command, and you can install it by sudo apt install which, or yum install which, or brew install which. Figure out how you can install that for your machine, and then you can go like this. You can do which shutdown, and so then that's going to run, that should run the /user /sbin /shutdown. That's what it should run, and whatever it may be on your machine. Okay, so I'm not going to run this because that would shut down the computer, and then this lovely video would end. But that's how we set up a cron job that monitors a website for a specific phrase. All right, I'll see you guys next time.